I work at Kraft Foods. I sit in a lot of meetings in my career, and I've sat through some pretty intense meetings in my time. The most intense meeting I ever sat through was one where we found holes in a presentation that were worth about $15 million. In order for me to shore up that information, I had to make sure that I was going to do some research to find the holes in the presentation and make sure we do find these gaps. In order to find these gaps, I have to go back to my office and make sure I get everything. But if I don't find the gaps, it will not only cost me millions of dollars out of my annual commitment, it could honestly cost you your job. So here was a situation where I was in the meeting, grabbed my computer, headed down to my office, and told them I'd be back within 2 hours with a solution. I kick on my computer, and as soon as I boot up my computer on the docking station, I get what? I get the black screen of death. What is that? Well, I didn't know exactly what that was until I called the IT department. So I call the help desk, and the first thing they say at the Kraft help desk is, "This is the Kraft help desk support line. Help you, may I?" Well, that was not a pretty sight, because I knew right out of the gate I was going to not only have a barrier of understanding what's going on my computer, but I was also going to have a language barrier that was going to slow me down even more. Now, time is very precious. From my personal experience, this has been happening for over the past 10 years. The last time I had a computer issue, I spent more time trying to understand the IT department than they spent fixing the issue. Unfortunately, the language and culture barriers play poorly in fixing the issue when we outsource overseas. Common knowledge is that this happens to most people in my field. We source out IT solutions instead of having in-house people as a source of productivity. This is purely a financial play that keeps Kraft from having to pay any type of in-house IT personnel. They don't have to pay their wages, and they don't have to pay their benefits by outsourcing. The annual cost for outsourcing is about 1/3 of the cost of in-house employment. Another reason that Kraft Foods, as a publicly held company, does this. Now, a testimonial that I have is that in 2009, Kraft had an internal IT department. All right, it was the last one that we had. We had started getting rid of those in 2002, but we had one left in Kansas City. Each time I had an issue, I was able to have someone sitting at my desk within minutes in the Kansas City office. The problems were resolved quicker, and the hardware was replaced flawlessly. In 2013, my laptop had an issue that was making a funny noise each time I opened it up. I knew that there was a problem because it was making this funny noise, but the IT department could not resolve it over the phone, as they told me it would have to heal itself. 3 days later, I lost not only my hard drive, I lost everything on my hard drive. This costed me hundreds of hours of labor just to replace the spreadsheets that were stored on my hard drive. Not only that, the items that were lost ended up costing Kraft over $100,000 to figure out how to replace. We also lost a lot of customer information that was very, very important to our business and could cost us majorly in an audit down the road. All of this was done just to save a few benefits against a few employees. You know, the way I look at it, it's not worth it to save money this way when you know in the long run it's going to cost you much, much more. In conclusion, this is my opinion. My opinion is that if you save money on the front end, it can cost a company millions on the back end, and decisions like these are made every single day by people who answer to shareholders and not to common sense. With the correct support, life can be very easy, not only for executives but for employees. With the lack of good network support, your life can be absolutely impossible. Your company can be turned upside down, your costs can go through the roof, and your customers could be very, very unhappy with the results that they're getting from your staff. Kraft needs to make it a priority to gain the best supporting technicians in order to stay ahead of the game. In order to do this, we're going to need to reset our boundaries, reset our budgets, and make sure that we bring the IT department back into Kraft Foods where it belongs. Thank you.